just absolutely loved it. And and what we didn't expect was how much my niece and their kids would get along, which was great. It was perfect. It was like, oh yes, it's wonderful.
That's awesome.
And I've known this. I've known the guy for like 15, 20 years.
Oh,
so we go way back. And when we were talking about doing it, you know, he was like, yeah, you know, and I'm sure my daughter would love to play, and you know, maybe our other daughter or whatever. I was like, yeah, that'd be great. And so we, you know, and then we got together this week, and it was like just seeing the way the party's developing and the dynamics and everything as a DM, like, and considering they're not, you know, a couple of them are not very experienced at role playing, you know, and tabletop and everything. Just seeing them develop that over time has been. It's been very rewarding, as I'm sure you're well aware.
Oh, it is,
and it's been quite the fun adventure so far.
That's great. I love when things like that come together. We've it's kind of funny. Chaotic Anarchy off of Twitter is having a birthday party type of thing. She's been off in Virginia all this last week, and TK with the Thread Raiders is going to be DMing, and we're going to be doing. I believe it is Tomb of Horrors, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think it is Tomb of Horrors. And we're going to be doing a one-shot, so he had us make up some 12th level characters. And so I really put a lot of work into this Gnome Ranger that I've set up and kind of really set him up. He's almost like a Gnome version of Akeisha and her character.
Yes.
And so, yeah, he is all about, you know, survival and hunting and, you know, figuring out where he's at. And one of the terrains, of course, I took was the you know, Underdark, because it'll match dungeons really well. And so he's going to be really familiar with those kind of things, but there's going to be some areas like swamps and other things that he has no freaking clue what he's doing, but he's a ranger, so he'll try to figure it out. And I'm excited. I think it's... They say it's a one-shot, which I would love it to be, but I'm getting a feeling it'll go several sessions. It's Tomb of Horrors. It's freaking Tomb of Horrors.
Absolutely.
It's going to be 4 or 5 sessions to Kim's chagrin, because she's like, you're already running a campaign. I'm like, I know. But it is the first time I get to play in 5 years. Yeah, about 5 years.
Yeah.
And so, and again, first time playing 5e. I played 3.5. I played 4 a little bit. I played some others, but I haven't done the 5e play. And
gotcha.
So, yeah, what's funny is looking at Pathfinder 2e. They incorporated a lot of elements off of 5e. A lot. Not all of it, but very similar.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
I mean, I found the same thing about how they handled. You know, Pathfinder 1 was basically Pathfinder. It was basically D&D 3.5 with some Pathfinder related tweaks.
Yep.
You know, so it didn't surprise me when I saw 2 was coming out and started kind of delving into 2 a little bit.
Yeah. Though the skills are wild. If you haven't looked at those are basically you have a base skill, and then under it are the other skills. So, like under thievery are all 5 thievery skills. Some are untrained, some are trained. So, like picking a pocket, that's untrained. So you don't have to put any ranks in it. You can do that and try to manage that. Where the ranked ones you can't do if you know. So picking a lock, if you've never done it before and you have no skill there, you're gonna not succeed very well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, that was the one thing I found about 5th edition is that while they don't necessarily have, you know, the skill trees quite like that, they definitely refine the skill arc a little bit better so that you're not pouring, you know, a bunch of points into something that maybe isn't really going to be heavily used. And it really does make a difference when you're actually playing, because instead of having to manage a bunch of, you know, instead of managing 8 pages of a character portfolio, now you're managing really a single character sheet and are able to quickly find what you need to find. You know, fifth edition, I think, as someone who's now played it in, you know, 6 or 7 campaigns and different DMs, I found it to be more focused on kind of the narrative side of things and a little bit less focused on the tactical I think when they went 4th edition and kind of dove too far in 4th edition towards the tactical kind of war-based battle side, I think they decided after that it was probably wise to reel that back in, because a lot of the players that liked 4th edition were like, even still, it's a bit overzealous in the amount of tactics required to even run a single battle, and so I feel like they kind of overcorrected, but in a good way. Yeah. Where it's much more approachable for people that haven't tabletop before, which is nice.
Well, and you get actions and reactions, which I've always thought, when I thought of, that was a flaw that has been in Pathfinder. Mm-hmm. You just have your actions. So, Oh, password. Hang on here. Same as last time, I believe. Everything is the same.
It is. I'm in, actually, so I got it. There you go.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, if you going around, if you want to do something defensively, you got to blow one of your offensive actions.
Yep.
That's rough, because now I'm fighting a defensive battle. How am I going to win? Whereas the new one allows you, the 3 actions and then 1 reaction. I love that. I think that's amazing. So, like for instance, with Laura, she has a Swashbuckler, so she can save her riposte and other things for that other action. And the other cool thing is the feats allow you to customize. So if you remember, the wizard is a great, for instance. The wizard gets 3 or 4 class feats.
Yep.
The new wizard allows you all kinds of stuff, from breaking a spell. So a wizard can sit there and do defensive combat where they're breaking down somebody else's spells. They can do bolts and rays. They can do a lot of other things. And instead of always blowing spell slots, you get spell points. And those spell points can be used to either cast an additional spell. So say you've got a 2nd level spell, you're burned out of that spell, and you really need it. You can blow 2 spell points, or 2 action points, pull that spell, and away you go.
Yeah.
And so now you get another use. Again, it just allows you some things that's really, I won't call them like an advantage in D&D, but it is kind of like that. It's like your class gets some advantages. And everything is a feat. I just love the idea of everything being a feat. I didn't at first. But then I went, okay, so you get skill feats, so you can pick up additional skills. So say you want to be a fighter and you want to do some thievery. You want to lockpick. You don't need everything else. You just want to pick a lock. Now you can get that. You can buy in and get that and make that as part of your ranked feats. And that's really kind of cool. I'm like, now you really have made it customizable.
Absolutely.
So, I think there's going to be some things. Again, I was against it because of all the 1E stuff I have, but then I'm sitting there going, okay, what am I going to bring over to our campaign from 2E? And there's going to be some stuff. I know there is. You saw with the cantrips and the unlimited cantrip use, that's one thing that I want to make sure you guys have. Because I think, especially if you go with a spellcaster, you're screwed once you run out of your spell slots.
Yeah, you're basically just a traffic cone.
Yeah, or a skill factory if you're lucky. But
you're
now
lucky,
you get cantrips as much as you want. So now you can do these, maybe not massively damaging spells, but at least they back the critter off of you. You have something to smack it on the nose and say, hey, leave me alone.
Yep.
And that's something I like about that. So, I'm not through it all yet, but I love some things they'll let you that were meta feats in the current campaign. Now you get them as feats. And for instance, it says replace a part. It's got a spell has to have at least 2 parts, and you can replace that with a semantic, a hand gesture. So now instead of doing the verbal, you could do semantic, and nobody knows you're casting a spell. They just see you wiggling your hands. You're like, what? What are they doing? And all of a sudden you can surprise them with a spell. A lot of cool little things. So I'm glad I hope everybody gets to take a look at it, because it's free right now. You can download the PDF free and take a look at some of that stuff. And it just really is kind of cool. I'm sitting there going, man, this is going to be fun once you implement all this. And even DC checks are really easy to work with. So now as a GM or a player, if you're trying to understand how did that DC come up, now you know. Mm-hmm. You can easily go through the math and go, okay, that. That's why.
Yeah, there's actually like there's a true formula behind it now.
Yeah, and I like that too. So, I just think it's going to bring a lot of people back towards Pathfinder that went the other direction. That maybe want a little more challenge than 5e, but not too much. They don't want to go full-on Pathfinder.
There is no challenge to 5e.
There really isn't. God, when I was going through it, I'm going, is it really this straightforward?
Well, it's funny though, because I was having that conversation with my buddy that I was telling you about, the guy that is part of the D&D campaign that I'm running, and we went back to talking all the way about 2e, which is when we both started, and talking about in 2e. I mean, you were lucky if you made it through a session without having to roll a new character.
Yeah,
and and normally you came to a session with 3 pre-rolled characters because you knew you were going to go through 2 of them and have to have the 3rd available by the end of the session.
Yeah, that's kind of the sad portion of it. But what's funny for me is that it has changed a lot.
Well, we were talking about that, and we both kind of have come to the conclusion a lot of that is just due to technology and video games in general being the way that they are, where they're much more forgiving, and with your attention span of players being a lot shorter now, and your need to kind of grab and hold them. It's a lot easier to do that if they can maintain the same character and continue going through a long story arc, as opposed to having to constantly roll a new character and and all the change with that, and especially for less experienced characters. I definitely think more experienced players, I think, are more apt to be able to handle that. But your less experienced new players, I think it's very difficult for them to spend a couple of hours rolling a character and then turn around after a couple of hours playing and roll another one, after a couple more hours. And so, it definitely makes sense from that aspect, but it definitely takes away a lot of that, I think, heightened suspense of never knowing when your character was finally going to get that, killing hit on and have to move on. But, we've incorporated in our D&D campaign a little bit of different things to try to just add some of that suspense back in and where we can and things like that. But it's tough as a DM because you are very limited on ways that you can truly kill a character. I mean, you have to get a character to double their HP threshold, and even then, there's no instant kill. They still have the death saving throws, and they still can make 3 of them, and the death saving throws aren't even that overly difficult to begin with. So it's hard to give them that additional challenge to say you have a chance of your character actually dying.
Well, yeah, and the one thing I will say I do not like about 5 is the armor class. Yeah. Way too simplistic. So now you got this mega demon lord. Yep. He's got a 20 armor class. I'm like, what? Why? That to me doesn't make sense. Now, again, I don't know what a 2E is going to do, because if you noticed, now they have something called proficiency, or what is it? Proficiency bonus. So that becomes your attack bonus at that level. It becomes your base for your saving throws and for everything. So now instead of having a save column, having all that, one piece of information is used in multiple places. Yep. So hitting is going to be harder. But what they've done, I've heard, to compensate is, I don't know why that's coming up that way, Laura, because you should have, I have all of them up. I have you assigned to Adalynd and to him. Because it says, Adalynd owned by Laura. Sharra owned by Akisha. Aurora, of course, Sean, that's yours. Mm-hmm. Still has Neonox, which is Josh.
Yeah. Also, good morning,
I don't know.
Laura.
Good morning. I didn't want to interrupt.
No problem.
I don't know why I can't get to... Let me try closing it down and opening it back up again, maybe.
And again, if I need to restart mine, that's fine, too. But yeah, I mean, for me, I don't want armor class to be so complicated nobody can figure it out. But at the same time, I don't want to be too easy. And from what I heard from the magic items now, your plus of your magic item, and I'll have to go verify because I haven't gotten to that section yet, is an extra dice of damage. Oh. So, instead of a 1d12 item, a +2 is 2d12, and a +3 is 3d12, and a 4, which is kind of wicked.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's definitely a different way to go about it. Because with 5e, they went, your pluses were just the standard plus, and it was maxed. Like that you couldn't get that extra. But I think also with 5e, they took a lot of time to balance things too, to make sure that they didn't get anything that was too overpowered. And I think there was a lot of concern that magic items would do that. But then again, they brought back the items that gave you a direct straight strength or a direct straight ability score, as opposed to having a just a plus to your current score. Which I think was smart, because then if you already have a super strong character and somebody finds a belt of giant strength, it's not a +5 to strength. It's just here's your 25 strength. And
they have
makes those decisions a little bit tougher, because it's like, well, it's not really going to give that person any more bonus than what they currently have.
You put it on, and you get no extra knocks to that, and so 4E was definitely a Keisha train wreck. I mean, that's why I vowed I wouldn't go back, and I've been a little bit better. I'm not going to GM 5e. I'll play 5e, but I enjoyed Pathfinder way too much. Now, there are other ones that I've seen kind of cool, and you guys have probably seen my tweet on this. I love the new Shattered that I got. It's a kind of a dark, steampunky world, where there was an evil deity named Ragnarok, and these worshippers on this human world tried to bring him through, and it damaged the world forever. So now you got places that are not livable. It brought through the races of vampires and some other things, and it's a wild, wild horror ride is the best way I can put it, but a lot of fun. So... But I'm not... 4E, I'm not a fan. 5, they did a lot of things good. I really do believe that. They have simplified spell casting. They have simplified actions. They made it more user-friendly. Yeah, must-see. yeah, it's definitely a must-see vacation destination. It's a wild world. I mean, God, they got everything from automations to cyborgs to what they call the recycled, which are people who took body parts from dead things and kind of recycled themselves. As Adrestia would say, a lot of nopes. There are a lot of nopes in that campaign. So, yeah, we kind of chuckled at that. It's almost as bad as Kim's new game on PlayStation 4. She got that one where it's kind of a weird ride on a train to this underground world. And it's all dark gray. And the only thing that has color is this one woman in gold. And you don't get to combat there. You just have to sneak around and figure things out. Because I tried to combat one of the bad guys, and literally, Kim was jumping out of her skin saying, I am going to have nightmares tonight. I've never seen a PlayStation game, but everybody who's reviewed it has said the same thing. They said, oh my God, this thing just sent me into orbit. And they do it at night, and they're like, I played it for like an hour, and now I can't play it for another month because it's that bad. Things just jump out at you, and it is, oh my gosh, it's creepy. Music plays, you get telephone calls from nowhere from a friend who says, yeah, let's paint the town red, and it's just, it is a Lovecraftian, mind-bending thing. And that's kind of like Shattered. Shattered's kind of that way. So, speaking of mind-bending, I think we got everybody. I don't think Adrestia was going to be here this week, if I remember right. She was, I think, away this week. You may want to check Akisha on that to see, but I think it was this week she said she wasn't going to be here. But if she is, she'll join in soon. I will do a little Let's see. Is this week you can't join in? I'm just asking her to see if this is that week. Yeah, she was that. Well, she made a comment to make sure you were okay, Akeisha. I remember that, but I think that was it. Let's see, we got. All right, so Sean, you're in. Akeisha, you're in. Laura, you're in, and Josh, hopefully, will be in soon. So, yeah, we are up and starting. Just letting him know. All right. Yeah, I understand. I mean, that's okay. You've had all kinds of fun with just life and with gaming in general, and I understand. I'm glad to have you. All right. Yeah, that's well. And Yumi was telling me the same thing. We had Yumi, or Purple Salvia, with us for a while, and then she had really bad migraines and allergies, and she just it took its toll on her as a whole. So good. Relief helps. I know with mine, what was it? Kim looked them up, and they said barometric pressure. So whenever for rain or the barometric pressure changes, I get level 4 to 10 migraines every time. And so, unfortunately, it means every other week I've got some sort of debilitating migraine that only Excedrin, fortunately, relieves. All right. So I'm going to switch Akeisha to the other. I'm going to basically... Oh, I bet you have. It's nuts with that. I'm going to go to the typing in Fantasy Grounds, so that way I got that screen up. And so where you guys left off last time, if you remember, you were exploring the chapel. You'd gotten through the governor's house. Sharra had bounced on the bed. Was having the bouncing thing going on. You guys made it to the chapel. You ran into the ghost in the chapel of one of the villagers that was there. He was a farmer, and when you guys had gotten there, he came out. It was Silas Weatherby, and Silas was pretty upset. He couldn't understand why he had been betrayed. There you are. So he was very, very upset and throwing things at all of you. He had Adalynd on the run. He had a couple of the NPCs on the run, the 2 NPCs on the run. So our 2 guys there were not doing too well with Iozef and Faradin. They were on the run as well. The rest of you came over to see what was going on, ran into him, and basically, Aurora, you put him to rest out back of the church, promising to find out what all had happened and why the village went the way it did. And that's where we left off. Sharra has a bow with a, which is a Rastal symbol on there, which has the, God. Yay, my brain's going good today. Sorry, guys. It had the Holy Reliquary on it. It was a +1 longbow. A long composite bow. Was it long composite? Yeah, it was long composite. With allows up to a +2 strength bonus on it. Yeah, you do. This has been, for all of you, yeah, it gives you +2 from your strength. So when you do damage or you do attack, you can add, it's a +1 magic bow. But remember, long composite bows and short composite bows allow you a strength bonus, where regular longbow and short bow don't allow that. It's dexterity only. So now on the long composite, it'll allow you up to +2 of your strength's bonus. So if you have a 16 strength, it'll allow you +2 of your +3 to go to damage on the arrows as well as to hit. If you want to switch that with your dex, it's up to you. Unless your dex is that horrible, I don't suggest doing that on a long composite. I suggest just taking it on the damage end of things and doing the damage bonus from your strength. And you guys found some different items. Again, Adalynd, you found some different things in the priest's home. Varastal, you found some different valuables for spell casting.
Yes.
Okay. So you get a +3 on your dex. So if it's better than your strength, I would use that. Because again, it'll be better than the +2 that the composite bow will allow you. So that's where you left off, with it ending out after you guys put him to rest. Again, you guys are welcome to take a rest to try to get spells back, but there's a lot unexplored. And you have announced your presence here by, a few combats. So if there is something hiding out there, they know you exist. For sure. Let's see.
Okay, I'm trying to remember which buildings we've gone through. We went through the priest's home, the church, the governor's home, and the community center. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So we still have the barracks. Oh, we went through the smithy too.
Yep.
So we still have the barracks and the 2 storage buildings to go
Correct.
through.
You have the
Correct. And if you can tell because on the map they're marked out.
Yep. That's the nice
So
thing.
you can't see inside them. That's an easy way to tell.
Yeah.
And then we went through those tents. You guys went through those tents
Yep.
that were set up, or the umbrella coverings that were set up essentially. But we have that whole southern region to kind of go through as well, where the farming happens. Where, what was his name? Silas Weatherby told us that the farming took place.
Yep. So, and then Sharra was asking what time of day. It's around 4 o'clock, so it's not quite going towards sunset yet. Josh is saying he's having some fun with his connection and hearing. I love it. When my connection's bad, his is good, and then vice versa. We can't win on this one. Fortunately, it's not raining today, so my connection's good, but it is, like 52 degrees today, right now?
Are you trying to rub it in that it's not
here.
90?
Yeah, it's not. We're headed into our 60s here in Ohio, which I love. My favorite time of year.
We call fall summer down here still.
Yeah, I know. I remember those, believe me, Sean, and I don't miss them. I really don't. You guys will be nice heat until probably about end of October.
Yep, right about. So I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I think we should explore those other 4 buildings in the forted, covered, protected, beginning to build wall barrier area first.
Let me ask, how much time do we have before sunset?
About 2 hours before sunset over here. So right now, depending on what you find, you could foreseeably get through everything in the palisade, and if you had to, you could rest the night, or you may be able to continue on. Just depends on if there's anything in there, if it requires combat or other type of resolution.
Do we have the option to signal the ship at any point of our choosing?
I think you could. Not that you mentioned, but there are ways you could do it with either like using an arrow, like maybe fire an arrow in the sky.
The question was actually asked of them previously, which do you guys have any ways to signal us and vice versa? I did actually have Aurora ask that question.
Yeah, they do have some signal arrows that are specific signal arrows on the ship. And they had let you know if you see 2 go up, there is a problem with the ship. They're having issues. Otherwise, they may check in with you with a single signal arrow.
Perfect.
Good. So if you have a smoke arrow, they can see that from that distance. It's amazing when you fire something high enough in the air what you can see from a long distance. And you guys aren't that long. You guys are probably 2-3 miles from them, so they can see a signal arrow if it went up. It'll be small, but they'll see it. Especially with a lookout with a spyglass on the ship looking. They have a spyglass that the crow's nest can see.
Okay.
There's a fire pit, Keisha, that you guys saw when you were coming in that is towards the barracks. It's like a large community fire pit where people would sit and cook. There's Josh. Maybe. Says he's connected. I hope he can hear us. Maybe.
So we have already, just to clarify, Rick, Aurora and Iozef have already finished the internment of Silas's body.
Correct. That would be the downtime in between the adventure. It gave you guys probably about 40 minutes. That you guys were around 3-something the last game session. So it took you about 40 minutes to go through the ritual, to close to an hour. To do the ritual, to consecrate the soil, to do the right prayers.
Okay.
And again, Akeisha Sharra could have helped with that because she is a worshiper of Erastil. And it seems like at least this first colony group worshipped Erastil. The new ship has both Abadar and Erastil represented on it. So they're starting to expand. And as most of you know, Abadar is considered the god of trade, merchantry, and civilization. Erastil is considered more the god of hearth and hunting and family. So it makes sense Abadar the money man, exactly. So a lot of people think about him. They call people to fair trade, accountability, law and order. So he's your lawful neutral god, where Erastil's lawful good, and more about the overall good of the village itself. Let's see, Josh. I'm just seeing what Josh can hear here on this one, because I may need one of you folks to type a little bit of just at least the key items to him of what's going on. So yeah, you've got 4 more places in the palisade to really check, and then you can make your way. You could open the front doors and make your way down to the other farms. Or you can go up where he said he saw the Ankeg to the north, where all those holes are, dug holes. Because that could be a possible problem to the village as well, if that Ankeg got over there and underneath the village.
How long do we suspect it would take the ship from where they are to actually hit landfall here again?
Probably 25 minutes, if they put up full sail.
There's
a wind. So the wind is actually blowing back towards you guys right now. You do see some clouds in the way distance, which signal a storm might be brewing in the next day or two. So it may not be wise to just, wait and wait for the storm. I mean, you can batter down for it and buckle down in one of these buildings easily. They have the things to shutter up and shutter. And you could go through and shutter all the key ones that you don't want the water to get in the rain.
When did you think that storm's going to hit? Sometime the next day?
Next 2 days. Yeah, you can't tell for sure because the clouds aren't giving like this solid movement. They're coming your direction full speed. They seem to be hanging more out in the distance. Let's see, literally not one complete word has gotten through to me. I can't hear and understand anything anyone's saying. All right. 4 p.m. in the afternoon. All right. Hang on here. Or Okay. That's probably part of the problem. Yeah. I would reboot Discord. You're probably right on that, Akeisha. It's probably when he did the. Sometimes when I run YouTube, it screws up a lot of different functions on my computer. Sad to say. So yeah, I mean the ship could get to you quick enough if you needed to. They're basically using you guys as a scouting party. The governor is at this point. That was something I don't know if I made clear on the last one. She's relying a lot on your intelligence of whether it's safe enough to bring people ashore. At this point, depending on what's in the other 4 buildings, you technically could send a small group to go get them or try to signal them. Oh, Gina, there you go. All right, no problem. Good. Thank you for doing that, Sean. That'll help.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll stay muted, though, because my keyboard is very tappy sounding.
That's okay. As long as you pipe in when needed. I mean, it's not a big thing. All right.
So,
go ahead.
Aurora's going to turn to the group at large, and I'll type this, of course, to Syl so she knows. And say, I say, based on, and she looks over kind of at the horizon at the storm brewing and says, based on that, and based on what we found so far, these 4 buildings, and she points in the direction of the other 4 buildings in the palisade, we search. Once we've completed that, we signal them as long as everything is clear, and then in the morning, and we let them know when they get here where they can and cannot go, which is to say really just the palisade and then the small tent areas we have already checked.
Yep.
And then let them know in the morning we will continue to scout ahead and continue to expand the territory of the new settlement.
And Iozef is in agreement. He basically says it sounds like a good idea to me. At least we could get some more people here and get them into an area where they can batten down the ship and protect the ship. And Faradin's like, yeah, it sounds like a good idea from what I can think on it, depending on what we find.
Yeah, I agree too.
All right. Mark Hale's like, whatever's good for the business is good for me. As long as we get things going in. And, I can throw my hat in to be governor. I know they've got a governor's replacement, but I think I could do a good job at this. That sound close enough to address the end?
Sorry, Aurora just broke out in so much laughter. You can't hear anything other than laughter at this point.
She goes, what? I think I could do a great job getting this colony up and running.
Honey, I am sure you could do a wonderful job. That's all she says.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the support. It is nice to have supportive friends. God, I love Adrestia. She gives me enough that I can easily run these. I can run most of your guys' NPCs. You guys do a great job of role-playing them, so... Yes.
How is everybody doing health-wise?
I could use some health love for sure, but at the same time, these 4 buildings need to get searched. So I am more than content to soldier on in spite of my
Adalynd, you have some wounds, and Faradin definitely has some wounds. He's over half in damage. So,
and we have nobody in the party except for Iozef who can actually heal, if I remember correctly.
Though
I have 1 healing potion if someone really needs it.
Okay. Yep. And let's see. It says Aurora has taken 6 points of damage. It shows that Faradin has taken 8, and Adalynd only has 3. Yeah, I mean, I would think either Aurora or Faradin probably are going to need it the most.
Okay, I'll give it to Aurora.
Okay. That would make sense.
She hands it back.
Okay, well, I'll just hold on to it if you need it.
Correct, yes. Just be ready to spring into action should the need arise.
Yeah, Faradin's like, I will just hang back. I can fire into the fray if necessary.
That's exactly. Aurora nods. He gets
it. Okay.
So, it's up to you. I mean, if you want him to have it, he'll definitely take it. because he is your stealth brigade.
Yeah, give it to him. He's the scout.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it to him.
Okay, so why don't you roll for it? Again, it's a
don't remember what it was.
D8 per, like for instance, Cure Light is a D8. Cure Moderate's 2D8.
Yeah, it's a Cure Light.
Yeah. Perfect. God, you couldn't have rolled better. He's at full hit points now.
Ooh,
that was
nice.
as good as it gets starting the day. All right. Maybe we'll have good rolls today. Knock on wood.
God, I hope they're better than last time.
God, yeah, last time was just fun. It was how do we get around these rolls, killing every action I wanted to. Okay, so you have just north of you, of course, the smithy, and if you go a little bit north of that, you have what looks to be the larder, and then what looks to be past that is possibly maybe the tool and supply building. That would help with the building supplies. And then, of course, on the north, kind of east side of the palisade wall, which is half finished, are the 2 barracks.
Well, I think we should hit up these 2 storage buildings first. You know, we might want to see what kind of supplies we have in case we do have to batten down the hatches for this storm.
Okay.
Agreed. I think that's a smart idea.
All right, I'm going to do that so that Syl has that. There we go. All right, so you guys are thinking of going to the larder supply building, which would make sense. That's until the crops are harvested, which they look ready to be harvested. That's what you're going to go off on. Most of the people are going to eat, and the ship has some supplies to replenish this, but that's your best bet at this point.
Well, and we also know when the ship arrives, there are capable guards aboard the ship that could also assist in security and anything that should arise beyond the palisade, which is really what I'm thinking makes the most sense as well.
All right, so I'm moving everybody out into the courtyard. Let's get rid of this. I think that's what? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that one needs to go away there. That was my poulter. All right. Let's look here. What was that other one? Yeah, that's rotate. Rotate. All right, so that gives us still. Okay, so that one needs to go away. All right. All right. So there is the party as of right now. The party of 7. Yeah, it is. Food, unfortunately, is the most... And that's... It's a good point on Sharra, because all of a sudden, as she says that, the feeling comes across every one of you that you truly, except for the boat, are alone. The nearest help is either on the continent of Arcadia, where your colonies are, 2 of your colonies are, or back in Andoran. Arcadia, from what you understand, is about 6 weeks of travel because of the roughness of the seas out here on this continent. And then the other direction is about 8 weeks, depending on how the storms are and everything else in that Gulf, the Arcadian Gulf. So literally, who's on that boat is who you have right now as allies. Unless you make some underwater ones, there is nowhere else to go. And the mission will depend on if you can get this place secured. So it adds a little bit.
I think at this point we've all agreed for the smaller buildings to start with, at least, and so obviously the first logical choice would be the closest one.
All right, so
but
that's the larder.
Aurora is hanging back towards the back of the group and trying to prod Faradis to go be the kind of front runner, since he's the scout who's now fully healthy.
Yes, he is. So I'm thinking that Adalynd will be somewhere in the center of this fray, along with Syl.
I'll stealth ahead with him. I'm decent with that.
All right.
I'm not going to make him go out on his own.
So then you've got, and of course, taking up the rear is your fearless leader. your fearless leader, Mark Hale. She is just itching to help out. Anything that can add to the profit. So, yeah, you'd be, again, your most stealthy are probably, again, your Swashbuckler, your Monk, which is Syl, and Faradin, and Sharra. Alright, so do me a favor. Roll stealth. So, depending on whether you have stealth or not, roll the stealth check or just a raw dex check to move fairly stealthily. I'm gonna put the sound and the movement in the shadows under the same roll, so that makes it easier for everybody. So you don't have to make two of them.
No, right. I thought I just rolled it, but it doesn't seem to be popping up. Let me try it again.
Yeah.
It's too bad. That was a 15. Let me see.
Dang. You don't want to lose that if you can help it. All right. Oh, nice.
Well, that was better.
17, beautiful for Sharra. Yeah, Aurora's not the stealthiest.
Good thing I'm at the back.
Yep. Let's see. There is... Faradin did good. Not as good as he could have, but a 17. All right. And then... Let's see. Syl. Dang, Syl!
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, we can't see or hear at this point. Syl has disappeared into, on a nice day, the shadows. Probably up near the building. She has just blended in 100% where nobody's going to see her. Alright. Good job, Syl. Good grief.
Aurora's like in the middle of talking, asking that question, and then by the time Syl replies, she's already vanished. And
yeah, exactly.
I was like, what the heck? Hold on.
Exactly. Alright. Okay, so let's see. On this one, perception is 4. Alright. So, okay. Let's roll that one. Okay. So, you come up to the building itself. It looks like just a rough wooden building. It's built pretty well, but it has its nooks and crannies where things could get in if they wanted to get in. But it's built as
That's not very good for a larder.
Yeah, I know. It's constructed out of like a lot of mud brick walls, but even the mud brick walls have some little tiny holes, maybe where some vermin got in. Possibly. And it has a simple door facing outward to the east where Syl's creeping up to. And it has a heady smell of dried plants, herbs, and maybe cured meat. So some of this you figure are the rations. Maybe some have come from the hunters and the original group here.
Has anything... is there... For those that are closer, are there any smells of, like, rotting meat or anything like that?
That's a good question. Make me some perception checks to see.
That's Sharra. I'm helping her since she typed it and you missed it.
Okay. Yep. Good job, Sharra. Cool. Alright, so Adalynd, you don't think anything out of there. Nah, Sharra, you think it smells normally like what a larder probably smells like, because you're, especially you, Sharra, you're used to it being on the edge of civilization. Let's see. Where is Syl there? Okay.
I've been rolling well today, apparently.
There you go. Now you're there.
Well, my problem is I couldn't hear anyone. It was just like that.
Yeah, that sucks when that... I had that last week, or last time we were together. That was where mine was going. So, alright, so let's look here and see what he does. Yeah, Faradin goes, there's something not right in there. He says, I smell something rotting. Not a whole lot, but he says there is a faint putrid smell kind of coming out for me. So he checks the door. The door does have a key on the outside, a key and lock. It's a simple one, nothing too complicated to pick. So he is going to try to quietly pick it. And I do emphasize quietly. Alright, disabled device. There it is. Yeah, he's able to there was a thing of keys that was in the governor's house. Yes, on a hanger. I don't know if you guys grabbed it, but it was there. You guys were glancing around the room pretty steadily until you heard the noises, and that kind of interrupted finding everything. So you're thinking maybe there were some keys there, but you hear the click of the lock as Faradin quietly tries to remove it from the door. And again, it's nothing too fancy. It looks like it would keep out maybe creatures that were trying to raise the bar on the outside, because there is a bar that it connects around. There's a little metal thing that goes across it that locks to keep the bar from coming up. It's pretty simplistic. Somebody could break it if they had enough strength, but this is more or less for the critters. Yeah, it's a good question, Sharra, on that one. So, yeah. Yeah, undead. I love that. Yes, there is an undead zombie waiting to come out and deal with you guys. Actually, you ladies. And one guy. 2 guys.
Well, if we think something is in here about to come and get us, maybe one person should open the door and then we have everybody ready with some ranged attacks to just attack whatever comes out.
I like it. Do me a favor. And roll the initiatives in case you need it. Alright, let's see. Faradin is on 18. Iozef is on 6. That's horrible. Sharra's 20. Nice. Everybody but Iozef is alert on this particular one. Iozef, he's not as alert as he needs to be.
That's the result of that concussion he suffered in the last battle.
Yes, it was. He was not faring too well on that one, for sure. All right. There we go. Okay. So who do you want to open the door? Or peer in the door? However you want to do it.
The scout who has the best initiative, of course.
Faradin. Maybe. No, that wouldn't be Faradin. Actually, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he had the best roll, but he's also the scout, so by theory, even just with that knowledge, you would assume that he would have a good reactive time.
Alright. So, he opens the door, peering in, and it kind of opens a little bit. You hear that, and you can see larder boxes inside. You can see stacks of food and goods. You can see meat hanging from the salted meats and fish hanging from the ceiling. You can smell some garlic and some catnip inside. Weird smells, but you can smell each. And then there's a strange pasty smell that is in the room. And you can hear slight skittering noises. Make a perception check to see if you can see what the skittering is coming from. Because the light in here is low. Now, if you have dark vision, you can see... Damn. All right, Alan. Aurora. Yep. Let's see if I can get Faradin here. Yikes, Syl is clueless on that one. Sharra, Alright, and where's the perception here? Let's go to skills, perception. Alright. Nope. Faradin does not see anything. Let's see, Iozef might, but he's way back. So no, he's not going to see as well as the rest. Alright, so what you see, Adalynd, is the most creepy, crawly, mid-size, brown and black, skittery things that you'd find in horrible homes where there's been a lot of food left around, crawling up and down the walls. Want to take a guess at what they are?
Some kind of cockroachy type thing?
Yes, and there are a bunch of them. There's not just like small, there's probably a good 50 of them in here. Big enough to be a swarm if they got interrupted.
Well, I think we need to interrupt these things or else they're going to eat all of our food.
They're chawing away on a piece of meat, some of them that's hanging. They're not on all of them. They're just on the one piece of meat going to town. You're hoping not laying eggs.
Is that piece of meat close to the door where I can kind of sneak in and maybe knock it off there and knock it out the door so we can fight them outside?
Yeah, you could. Absolutely. And you get the feeling they would follow you outside. Well.
Yeah, well, I want to try and do that.
All right. So make for me a acrobatics roll to grip a hold of it and toss it out the door. It'll be a DC probably 18, not too horrific.
If you're going to do that, why don't you throw it into the fire pit that's right behind us?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it looks like I kind of trip while I'm trying to do it.
All right, so here's the little roachy swarm. Let's see, let's do this. Hang on here. We will get rid of...
I guess I would actually be inside here.
Yeah, you would. All right. So now you can see them, and there's a little roachy swarm. They're starting to swarm up now big. They're coming from the floor and coming towards you at this point.
Okay.
So... Yeah, you guys can see they're starting to skitter towards Adalynd with bated interest. They're not happy she's messing with their piece of meat in there.
Do I have enough of an action left to try and leave the room so they'll follow me?
You do. It'd be a second action done as a move, but yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So pushing Faradin back. He's going, ah! Again, very surprised and not happy. You can see there's a look on his face of horror. Almost like maybe this might bother him a little bit. Iozef's going, what did you see in there? Is there anything in there?
Yeah, you're going to see them in just a second. Here they come.
So they're scurrying towards the door in a mass amount. All right, so we're going into the initiative now. Faradin's like, holy crap on a cracker! Ah! Not liking. Roaches. No. Just no. And again, you can see he's just slightly bothered by this. Alright. Let's see what he's got among his inventory. I think he's got... Oh, yeah. Alright. So he pulls out his... his flask of oil and his flint and steel, and he's starting to he opens the top, starting to strike the thing to light it on fire. So that's his actions for this round. Yeah, you can grab her and pull her back if you want. Absolutely you can, Sharra. Alright, hang on here. I'm moving the map around. I'm sorry about that, but I'm trying to kind of get everything situated so I can see everything I need on here. Alright. So yeah, make a CMD roll or CMB roll against her CMD. What you're trying to do is grab her unaware and pull her back. Not that she isn't willing, it just will surprise her when you're grabbing her and yanking her. So basically you're just trying to overcome the surprise urge to go, what the heck? CMB is combination, if you look on the first page, it is their version of trying to do a combat maneuver versus somebody's defenses. Adalynd, what's your CMD? That'll also be on the first page, towards under AC.
15.
Okay, beautiful. You got a hold of her and are pulling her back by her belt. And she's coming out of the way of the swarm. So she's pulling you almost beside her, back beside her.
Okay, thank
you.
you.
Out of the way of the battle. All right, let's see. That goes to Aurora. Time to leave.
Fantasy Grounds froze on me, Rick. I'm still waiting for it to. Oh, there it goes. Maybe, possibly. Okay, good. I'm getting in. Give me just a second.
There you go. Mark Hale will be fun. I got to figure out what she's going to do.
Run screaming?
Yeah, she might do that. Never put it past her. I'm just saying disgusting, gross, disgusting. Because she would do that. Alright, let's see. Mark Hale. There's Mark Hale. Alright.
So Aurora's going to take out a ration from her waterproof bag and a sugar lemon from her pouch belt thing, her pouch on her belt.
Mm-hmm.
And then just put the sugar lemon, kind of rub it on the trail ration to maybe make it more appealing to these things.
I don't think whatever you're doing is going to beat out the smell of the rotting meat.
No, but the plan was the group would lure out the things, and so anything extra to move them a little bit closer towards the fire pit will be good. So I'm going to take it and just drop that into the fire pit, just so it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Just any distraction I can provide, because there's not a whole lot else I can do at the moment.
Now, you guys do get the feeling that these guys are probably flesh-eating cockroaches. By the way, they devoured on that piece of meat. So if you think you have the heebie-jeebies, wait till you have a swarm of cockroaches on you, eating you.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. It gives everybody the heebie-jeebies.
Aurora turns to Iozef and says, "Would it be wrong of us to disinter poor Silas and use him as bait?" Jokingly, of course.
Maybe, but then again, extreme measures have been used in the past.
This is very true. That's back in his own accent, responding jokingly.
He's like, again, poor Faradin going, what? You're going to push the gnome into the roaches? No, we're not doing that. No.
that ends Aurora's turn. She doesn't really have anything she can do at this point.
All right, so we're to Mark Hale. Okay, so Mark Hale. God, what could we do? She casts a purify food and drink into the place on the rotting meat and everything. She goes, "This is just gross. I'm going to purify this stench, so we're not having to smell it, and these roaches won't have any reason to be here." Just gross.
Oh, God, that's the worst thing she could do.
Yeah, and she moves over a little bit.
So she's going to go into the middle of the swarm to touch the meat?
Yeah, I'm thinking she's going to. Knowing her, she's like, ugh. Because she tries to work her way around to get there, though it will try to attack her, and does. Because the putrid meat bothers her much more than anything else at this point. And they do, to her, 2 points of damage as she walks through the storm, and they start munching on her feet. She's like, "Oh, gross. No. Just no. Nope. That's a big nope." All right. So we're now to Syl. Syl, what are you going to do with the lovely cockroach swarm that is now trying to swarm on Mark Hale?
Well, she kind of decided to throw herself into the middle and I guess sacrifice herself to them.
Maybe.
She doesn't know. They're not attacking us. She doesn't really care at this point, so she'll just pass on her turn.
Okay. All right. So at that point, Iozef, what are you going to do, Iozef? All right. So Iozef is not loving this at all. Let's see. Iozef has. All right. He can. Not a lot of prep stuff here.
So Adrastra is not joining us today?
I don't think she is. I haven't seen her. Remember, I think she mentioned that she couldn't join this week. I seem to remember that 2 weeks ago, that she said at one date she couldn't. I'm thinking this is the date, unfortunately.
Oh, well.
All right. So Iozef is also preparing a flask of oil and striking it and getting ready to throw. All right. This is ugly, ugly, ugly.
Ignore that thing. Every time I click the stupid thing to read what the spell does, it freaking tries to cast it. Stop that.
What spell are you looking up?
I was just looking at my spell list of Create Water and Electric Arc, trying to see synergy things.
Alright, so swarm. Gotta look down at the lovely swarms. I'm dead. Let's see, where's my swarm? Unfortunately, swarms are fun. Okay. Alright, so this is this. Doesn't do this, does this. Okay, not that. Okay, so they can get that. Alright. So yeah, he's getting that ready. So it takes us to the swarm. And the swarm is going against Adalynd again. Or not Adalynd, but Markale again, because she is in range. Even though she's trying to get away from him. And she takes another point of damage. Nothing too horrible. Let's see, 3 from Markale. Alright. Now we are to the top of the order. And that goes to Faradin. Faradin is tossing the flask of oil. Alright.
Where is he? He's tossing it in the building where they
Oh,
are?
he's tossing it to the doorway where the swarm is at. So we may be putting out the fire around this or fixing it. Actually, these are bricks, so they're mud bricks. So the bottom of this building is not going to catch on fire. The worst it does is catch some of the crop that is dried out, or any of the dry rations, because any of the wet leaves or any of the newer plants are not necessarily going to light up too much. They might singe. But most of your stuff, I mean, your salted meats and stuff, it'll cook them a little. It's either that or the roaches. So he's just in nope right now. Major nope. This is a major nope moment.
Let's just take a moment here to appreciate the irony of the reversal of stereotypes, with the man going nope, nope, ew, 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 nope, nope, and all the women just being not.
Yep, he's like, no, 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 no. I am not. It was like last night when I was watching Kevin Hart with what was it, Jimmy Fallon, and one of the children from what's his name, Steve Irwin, was there pulling out tarantulas and snakes, and he's halfway across the room going, oh no, 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 no. But you can touch them. No. That's kind of how he's acting right now. He's in that whole nope phase of things. All right, so let's see. Thrown damage on.
I had this science channel on YouTube. I watch that occasionally. The person who hosts that show will sometimes have like a talking segment with this other woman who has like her nature preserve or something. I don't remember exactly, but every now and again she'll bring out something for him to talk about. Sometimes a furry creature, sometimes a lizard, sometimes a snake, sometimes a spider.
Yep,
so
I love it.
It's kind of a. So he's usually pretty cool with it, but sometimes he'll kind of recoil a little bit at him, but he'll usually get into them as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, it's like Akeisha said, his face, Faradin's face is right beside the word nope in the dictionary, his face. Just curled in horror. So he does 3 points of damage as the flask breaks and starts burning the roaches, which does not make them happy at all. They're just, you hear the hiss pop, it's going pop, 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 as their little bodies are popping. Yeah, Madagascar hissing roach size kind of things. Just not, yeah. All right, so we are past Faradin, and we are now to Adalynd. You're watching in fascination and somewhat horror as the fire goes around the bricks but doesn't damage those. He did a good enough throw that it didn't get necessarily on the larder of supplies. It's just on the dust area, the stamp down area. People would come in and go in to go get the larder. That's where he's burning the roaches. Okay. And it's burning good. It's a nice poppy little burn fire going
on. How many does it look like he's caught the majority of these roaches in there, or is Markale still in trouble in there?
Yeah, Markale's still in very much trouble right now.
Okay, but at least, I'm going to run through and go in here, so I don't know if I'll take some fire damage.
Do an acrobatics check. You can probably do a kind of a flying roll over the fire and land on your feet. Be an acrobatic maneuver, but should be. Oh yeah, you made it look so easy to the party as you just fluidly dive over and land perfectly on your feet facing Markale. No issues at all. You are totally ready to do whatever you're prepared to do attack-wise.
And I'm just going to try and, I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do. All I've got is like rapiers. I'm just going to try and stab some of these things off of her and do some damage if I can, and try and get them off of her.
You could probably use the flat of your rapier to knock some loose.
Okay.
You're not going to do much damage to them. You figure even if you kill
whatever
one or two,
I can do to try and help her out.
All right, go ahead and roll. Let's see what it says there. Yeah, bug busters. Oh my gosh, that's good.
Where do I...
Akeisha and her things. Let's see. Okay, so you can... Swarm rendered conscious by non-lethal damage. Let's see, half from swarms. Yep. So you do, since you're using it as a blunted, it will take full damage. Because you're doing a blunt push down. So basically you're smashing them as you go. You're not necessarily hitting them with the pointy end. You're just like going down along her back and body to knock them to the ground. Nice job. All right. Okay. So you see some bodies fall off dead from your impact, and they're still swarmingly not happy, but they do look like a nice little pile of dead bodies twitching at her feet. It's just, repulsive in every way, shape, and form. All right. Good job. Sharra, you are next. You did get to see that Adalynd's just turning the blunt of her blade and smacking down did do some good. You get the feeling that your arrows, if you shot those, might not be as effective because you might just kill like one or two. And there's easily 100 of them in here. So, you could use the flat of your battle axe to smash them. See, I know, right? How can we... Oh my god, she rolled a natural 20 on that. Nice job. She goes in and just loses the flat of her battle axe and smashes. Yes. Well, actually, no, you can't crit on a swarm. But you have a very successful hit. No, you just need to roll your damage. Because as long as you use the flat of the blade like a blunt weapon, it seems like it's effective. Oh my gosh, nice. So you just see Sharra raise her axe up and just smack it down to the flat side into the roach swarm, and you hear the pop, 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 pop of bodies. And there's all kinds of goo on the axe, and it's just dead smash bodies. It is a mess. But you did damage it pretty good. You see roaches swarming, scurrying everywhere to try to get away. Yeah, you're definitely going to need... There's bug guts on you, roach guts on your feet, on your boots. And it smells, I mean, just horrific, putrid smell of the crushed bodies. You want to gag. You really do. Even the strongest of you wants to gag seeing this. Alrighty. So, Aurora, you're next.
Boom, boom, moving into range.
I love the black irk. You can see roaches running towards you. They're trying to get out everywhere. Nope. That Morningstar put a divot in the ground, and those roaches ran. Like you see them do when you try to smack an area. They just scurry every direction, trying to get away. All right. Mark Hale. Mark Hale is running for the door, even though she's not even being graceful. She's trying to avoid the fire, but we'll see how good she does, because she's in complete panic of the grossness factor. If it was anything but that, she would be fine with it. And so let's do a reflex. Nope, she'll take 1d3 on the damage side of things, but she will make it out most likely. Because this is, okay, so yeah, so the roaches take 1, she takes 1, and she is out the door. And you can just hear as she's running by going, nope, 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 she's running towards the fire pit. Nope, 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 starting the fire, starting the fire. She is just squirmy, knocking roaches off of her, just with the nopes. The fire made some of them jump off, crisped a few, and yeah. So, Syl, your turn.
Well, she's out already. I guess the other one just needs to follow.
Yep.
Except she's not stuck, so she's fine.
So are you gonna try to use any of your kicks or punches to try to take down any of the roaches? Flurry of blows.
The roaches are just still sitting there surrounding their food.
They're scurrying everywhere now that she's scurried out and everything else, and with the fire in there, it's not a pretty scene.
Actually, with the fire being lit in there, I guess I could just go around and make sure all the windows are closed.
All right, you come around to the south side where there's a window, and you can see it could probably use to be secured a little better. So we're kind of working it and making sure that they don't get out. Of course, they are roaches, so they'll find their way out of anything.
Well, some of them will, most of them won't.
Yeah. All right, Iozef, with round 2 of the fire towards the door where they're trying to scurry out, he is going to do a throw. Let's see, where is his thing? All right. Here we go. Let's see, characters. All right, there's Iozef. So Iozef's main attack on that is going to be 3 plus... Okay, so just 3. All right, so plus 3 on this to hit. Ooh, no, he hits outside the door and to the... Let's see, where would it be? It'd be the... Right, so it's almost where... Oh, I'm sorry, Adalynd, that's you. That's him out there. Almost where Faradin is.
Whoops.
Faradin's going, not the gnome, not the gnome. I am not a roach. As the fire goes up around him. And you see the look of delight on Mark Hale's face. She goes, ooh, now I can start the bonfire. So she's grabbing some wood around the fire area and trying to get it all lit by, moving some of the kindling over for her next round into where the oil is. All right. That's Iozef's turn. Next, we've got... Let's see. That goes to the roaches. All right, so the roaches are trying to get towards you, Adalynd. They start to crawl up your legs and bite.
Okay.
This is a feeling you don't, of course, like, and you take 1 point of damage from.
Okay.
But they are starting to want to climb your legs and bite you. All right, so that puts you as 5 hit points down of your 11. Okay, and we're to Faradin. Faradin is just running over to help with the fire. He's like, okay, we're getting the fire started. So he's scooping up some of the stuff of the logs to throw them inside there to get that lit, and then getting out his torch. We're going to light a fire. All right, Adalynd, it is your turn.
Okay, is there still a fire going at the doorway here?
It is out. The oil is burned down and out. So now you just see scurrying roaches coming out the door towards your friends, Aurora and Sharra. They want out.
Okay. All right, can I, do a stomping attack or something on them as I run out the door?
Absolutely. It'd be just like an unarmed attack. You can do a stomping attack and just start stomping the heck. It'll do a D3 plus your strength, but it'll work. It's a stomp dance.
Okay, so what do I roll for that?
You would use your...
Just a D20? Or?
Yeah, D20
just
plus...
Just as a suggestion, since, they're still inside the building, you could just shut the door on your way out.
Yeah, you could. That could be...
Well, I don't want to leave them in there. I want to get them out. I want them to follow me.
Well, the building's already on fire. We could just let it burn.
No, actually, the building
That's all our food.
It was on the floor. The oil burned out on the floor because the base of this building is like an adobe brick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It just cooked it a little more is all it did. It didn't do anything to damage that or the food. The throw was that good.
And we can't do anything to damage this building because the food stores for the colony are in this building.
Yep. Hmm. So use your dex on your attack plus your attack bonus, whatever your attack, just normal attack bonus is, your BAB. Be just BAB plus dex bonus.
I'm trying to find that on here. Hang on.
BAB, where are you?
Where is BAB? Oh, here's... Okay, I have a BAB plus 1.
Yep.
I'm trying to think...
Your dex is plus 4, so be a plus 5.
Why don't I just roll a dex check and we'll just add 1?
Add 1 to it. Oh my gosh, nicely done. You're just like having a stomp dance through there. There's guts going everywhere. It's just ugly. For anybody that has a hurl reflex for bugs or has an aversion, right now, Faradin was helping with the fire, then he goes, oh my god, and he turns aside and just starts hurling. He's not happy with that little sight.
Oh, come on. I've seen worse than this in the slums.
He goes to crunching the guts. Oh, it's putrid. Just putrid. So you have now found his weakness. He does not like creepy crawlies. Typical
man.
Yeah, he's not got the fortitude for it. So I'm done. Alright, so do your damage. It's a D3, so roll a D6, cut it in half, roll that round down, and add your strength. There you go. Alright, so...
I don't have anything for strength, so...
Okay, so just 2 points. No, or actually, see, 1.5. No, it'd be 1 point. 1 point to him, but still, it was a nasty bit of stomping. There are bugs' guts everywhere. They are trying to flee like no tomorrow. Alright, Sharra. You see them just, they are now rapidly trying to leave the building. Oh, it's looking bad. It looks like you guys have crushed probably 60 of the bugs out of 100, so the other 40 are trying to get away as quickly as possible. More bug guts. This will be great. You're going to have Faraday curled in a ball by the time... Oh my god, she rolls a natural 20. If only you could critical. You've hit twice with natural 20s. You can tell Sharra's good at killing and exterminating. Do your damage with the flat side of your blade. All you need is an 8 plus your strength, and you have caused chaos. Oh, yeah. So, literally, Sharra just aims in the middle of that 40 and smashes over 30 of them. There are bug guts dripping everywhere. There's bug guts on the adobe walls. There's bug guts on her boots. There's bug guts that hit Aurora because she just happened to be standing in the vicinity. You can tell Sharra's having fun with this. It doesn't even bother her. She's just sitting there smacking away. And they're gone. You have effectively killed the roach swarm. And you don't see any other movement other than one or two scurrying out holes to get away as fast as possible.
Okay, I want to go back in that building and scour it and try and make sure there are none of them left in there.
That's a good thing to do. All right. So you're going back in. I love this. Bug guts and all. That's awesome. All right, so you go back in the building, and you can see there's a lot of provisions that are unharmed. It really, just a little bit of the vegetables that are rotted and just that one piece of meat. And that's what brought them in. There are some little holes that you could probably do some, like you did the bricks in here and patch them up. They are, there's no more left. And you can see there are shelves in here, and there's a teak wood box that is 12 by 2.5 by 1.5 inches sitting on one of the shelves. Looks pretty valuable.
What's in it?
Well, when you open it, you see there is about 30 gold inside and what looks to be a wooden wand. Really nice looking wand.
Okay. I take the wand out to the rest of the party and I say, hey, anybody know what this is?
There you go. Anybody with a detect magic? Ooh, Markia goes, ooh, 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 let me see. She goes over, I can help.
I'm sure you can, and once you do, we will never see that wand again.
No.
Why don't you just see if you can identify it and I don't let it leave my hand?
Oh, fine.
Good call.
So much for a supporting group you are. What if I become the governor? How will we ever have this trusting relationship?
Well, until you become the governor, we'll have that discussion when you become the governor.
It's about that point that a small light rain right on top of Markale starts. And as her inevitable, of course, shrieking, shrilling scream starts, Aurora says, "What? I'm just cleaning you off. I figured that was the next step for you, right?"
She goes, well, warn me next time.
I'm sorry. And of course, it's probably a very, very cold rain, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, and what's funny is the rotting things that were in there, she probably restored about 3/4 of them. There's only a little bit of rotting vegetables you guys have to clean out and the one meat. Otherwise, everything else is salvageable in there. It probably could feed the colony for about 2 months worth of larder.
Excellent.
And the detect magic starts pulling up. Let's see. It starts out with. Oh. Pull up this to see what the Dwemer is. The Dwemer on the wand. Oh, come on. Where is it? It's one thing I do not like about Pathfinder is they got so many spells that you can do. There it is. So now I can tell what the Dwemer is. It is divine. It is almost, in fact, yeah, she would be good for using this wand. It in your mind pops up, or in her mind she goes, oh, it's a wand of Goodberry. That's really great. She goes, I know how to cast that spell, maybe. Or maybe I can learn to. Basically, it provides a berry that will give you a full day's worth of nourishment and counts of 1 hour of complete rest for exhaustion, fatigue, and non-lethal damage. So this would come in real handy, especially if you're out adventuring around. And there's 49 charges on the wand. Now, other people can use it with a use magic device roll, but she can use it without ever having to do that. It's just up to you whether you want to give Markale the wand.
Well, I look around at the rest of the crew and I say, I think she's about the only one who can use this, right?
Iozef says, pretty much. She goes, maybe. He says, maybe.
Remember our conversation, Markale, about working together. Just remember that conversation we had.
She says, fine. I will play nice. Though, actually, you think Sharra could probably use it at a higher level. Once Sharra gets to where she can, as a ranger, use her spellcasting. Yes, rangers do get spellcasting, and they are along the lines of druids. So you could use it. Or at least you could police Markale and make sure Markale uses it properly with the big old battle axe in hand. Usually the wand rules is if you can cast the spell as the divine spellcaster, you can use the wand. The only time you have to use the magic device is if, like, for instance, you're wanting to cast a magic user fireball wand. Then you have to use the use magic device. And if it works properly, you get to fire off a fireball. Do you want me to put it under her inventory then?
I'm going to give the one to Sharra and say, I'm going to give this to you, and then you can give it to Markale when you want her to use it.
All right. So all you have to do, Akeisha, is look up wand and see. You may have to type in the wand of Goodberry because a lot of times, unfortunately, they don't put all the wands with all the different spells because you can make wands of any spell that you want.
The Goodberry spell, though, is not something that Sharra will cast. It's a druid or shaman only spell.
So they won't let her on the ranger. I thought it would, because usually the ranger ones they've allowed them to.
Yeah, I mean, rangers get a lot of druid spells, but their spell lists aren't exactly alike.
Okay, all right, so Goodberry isn't on it. So it's up to you. I mean, you can keep an eye on Markale. She can be the one that casts it.
Did we lose Aurora?
Yes, we did. Sean, where did you go? We lost Sean. Well, but actually, though, she could use it with a used magic device if she has ranks in it. Or try to, at least. It just may not go the way
all ones are like a DC 20 use magic device check. They're the easiest ones to use with that skill.
Yeah, which I like. That's the one thing that I love about it, is anybody can do that. No ranks. Okay, well, let's see what Faradin has. Does he have any ranks?
Well, even if we can't use it, it's a fat paycheck for us then.
Oh, yeah. Nope, Faradin can't. Let's see if Iozef has anything. That way, guys, go through all the used magic devices, because if somebody can use it, it'll be really good. Nope, Iozef doesn't have any ranks, so neither one of them can use it. Syl, do you have any ranks in used magic device?
Nope.
Okay. Adalynd, any used magic device?
I don't. Ranks? I mean, I have. No. I'll take it next time we level up.
Okay. All right. So, Markale's like, fine. Don't trust me. See if I help.
Aurora gives a very stern gaze. Yes, will help when the time comes.
Yes. I'm just making a statement that I could have used it and it would have worked really good.
That's even a power. That's a power Inquisitors get later, don't they? Just like stern gaze.
Oh yeah,
they get it actually at level 1.
Yeah, that's what I say. It cows her down a little bit, but she's herself. Even cowed down, she's like, whatever.
Of course, absolutely. I would expect nothing less from Markale.
Yep. Hey, at least you guys got that, and you got the 30 gold pieces. So, and the box is worth some money too. The teakwood box.
Well, that was quite the adventure. On to the next building.
Are you sure you want to go on with the cockroaches? Cockroaches?
We can't exactly invite the colonists back here unless we make sure that they're not going to get killed as soon as they go home.
Yeah.
I want to sneak up to the next building and just listen really carefully.
All right. So go ahead and do your sneak roll again, or your stealth for the sneak. Nice roll.
Hey.
Dang,
Boy,
where were
last
these
time I couldn't
rolls
roll
last
anything.
week? You guys are like gone from 1s and 2s and 5s of last week to 20, 19, 18, 16.
Except Aurora. Just let that be clear. Except Aurora, who can't still hit anything worth a damn.
Aurora is... Well, yeah, exactly. Right now, Mark Hale is interested in stoking the fire. Faradin is moving up with Adalynd to see what he can see. All right.
Do you want a perception check or?
Yes, you will need a perception. Yes, Bug, what's the matter? Okay. Turn it on to music, sweetie.
All right, I'm going to need you to continue these spectacular rolls for the next
Wow.
rest of this session.
Faradin has
That would be great.
Faradin has a 30, I think, on that one. Is that true? Yeah, maybe. Yep. So Faradin's doing pretty good on that one. He's like, oh, now I'm feeling better. No more cockroaches, he says very quietly. He's doing this really, really quietly. No more cockroaches, please. All right. So, and then...
It's almost too bad you're not doing sanity. I'm fairly certain he lost a few points.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and if he keeps running into it, believe me, sanity will come into play. All right, so 12 for Iozef, so he wasn't as quiet. Sharra, you're moving up too. Yep. All right, that's Kakarochi is gone. All right.
Iozef almost causes Syl to crack a smile as he vainly attempts to hide.
He goes, not my best art. All right, so you see that this is another mud wall building like the last one. The door is also facing east, and then a shuttered window is also facing east that's cracked, partially open. And on top, the wooden plaque, it says Tool House or Tool Shed.
Okay, with our perception checks, can we hear or see anything inside the building through the crack, maybe? Or?
You can see that, you can smell a couple of the barrels that are near the window. It smells almost a tarry type of smell, like tar they would use with thatch roofs to tack them down so they don't come apart. You see some shovels and tools like hoes and other type of digging implements, ground breakers, sledgehammers, chisels, other type of implements inside that maybe were made by the blacksmith themselves. Now, do me a survival check for anybody that's up near the door area. Any of the four that are up there. Go ahead.
So to pass by it, so she'll do it.
Faradin doesn't have one. Iozef probably does. Nope. Iozef it doesn't. All right. So the ones that made it, Adalynd, you kind of get the feeling that there's no way that the colonists could have left here without taking these tools to relocate. These tools are vital to putting up those palisade walls, to digging the posts in there, to cutting. There's like axes and bandsaws and other types of equipment in here that are deadly necessary for building a colony.
Well, this doesn't bode well.
Yeah, Faradin is like, I wonder why they left all this. It doesn't make any sense.
Is there a lock on the door?
No. Surprisingly, on this door, there's not.
I open the door and look in.
All right. So you get to see it's a very large building with lots and lots of tools. Hammers, chisels, replacement tools for the smithy, woodworking tools, brickworking tools, tar, of course, and pitch, and many, many, many more supplies. There is a wooden box on one of the shelves with the words carved in, "Emergency Only," on its lid.
Oh, well, definitely going to open that up.
All right. So, you would need a disabled device check unless you want Faradin to do it. He could come in and do it with you if you need. Or if Sharra has that. And then Iozef will watch over you guys from out here.
Yeah, I'll let him do it. I don't have that skill.
Alright, so the disabled device, he goes, no problem. This is my work of expertise. And with a 19 plus the bonus there, he gets plus 5, it's a 24. He cracks the box. And again, inside are 2 vials of alchemist fire and a neatly folded suit that looks like what you probably could have or should have wore next door to fight the roaches.
What do you mean, what kind of suit?
It looks like what's called a swarm suit. A swarm suit is something out of the Ultimate Equipment that covers all the... If you put it over you, it'll go over your boots, over your body, all the way up to your neck, and has a little covering for the top of your head that goes over.
It's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of like a beekeeper suit, but specifically
Yes.
not for bees specifically.
Exactly. So this would keep a swarm from getting into the crevices, getting in your mouth, eyes, body, and it would protect you against the bites of something like the roaches. So it's an invaluable suit to have on a colony. Somebody was very smart packing that away. Now you can either leave it for the village itself, because that would be something that would be needed from time to time if they got to clear out swarms, or you can take it with you and be the person that does it. Okay, no problem, Keisha.
Well, maybe we should take it with us just in case there's anything else like that around, and then we can always replace it if we don't use it.
Okay, so just note swarm suit on your inventory, whoever's going to take it. And the swarm suit, hang on here, I'll give you the lowdown if you want on that. So you got what it is and what it does. Alright, hang on here. Swarm suits. Yeah, and then the alchemist fire is way better than the oil. That's something you would definitely need if you wanted to burn out an area. That would have possibly burned down the building. Alright, so it's not in there. Let's see. It's got to be in one of the other books. Alright, Pathfinder.
That was me, I think, Sharra. Can you hear me?
Alright. Is it in this? Maybe it's in the adventure.
Can you hear me now, Akasha?
Alright, so where is the swarm suit in here?
No, and Akasha, I wasn't asking about it. I was actually clarifying. It's kind of like a beekeeper suit, but specifically made for swarms as opposed to beekeeping.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps clarify what you would think of it, a visual for you.
So which book is the swarm suit out of? It's kind of weird. It's got to be out of this one.
Pathfinder Advanced Player's Guide? I think that's what it says on the items list.
The APG.
Should still be in the Ultimate Equipment Guide.
Yeah,
Ultimate Equipment Guide just kind of gathered everything.
Yeah, it kind of did, but there were things that it left out. Alright, so let's go past the armor, goods and services, periscope. There it is. These heavy and overlapping layers of clothing, coupled with a wide hat outfitted for a dense veil-like netting, so like you said, a beekeeper outfit, it'll keep out diminutive and fine creatures. Wearing the swarm suit cuts your speed in half and gives you a DR10 against swarms and fine creatures and a 5 against the diminutive ones. So the really tiny ones, you get a DR10 and a DR5 on the bigger ones. So it comes in real handy.
Well, if nobody has any objections, I'll just hold on to it, and then
Sure.
if we don't need it, we can always replace it.
Who wants the Alchemist Fire?
Markel's far enough away that she doesn't hear, I'm assuming, so it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, Markel is not here. So
As is Aurora. So Aurora stayed with Markel intentionally.
Yeah, so you can do anything from Syl to Iozef to Sharra to Faradin, whoever you think. Okay. So
Syl's outside the building, so she can't hear what's going on in there, but she would take the Alchemist Fire if offered.
Yeah, why don't you give one to Syl then and one to Sharra? Since the dexes on both will probably be pretty good. And you're keeping the beekeeper or the swarm suit, Adalynd, so that way.
Yeah.
All right.
We will be set.
Perfect. So you have 2 more left. You got the 2 barracks, but from what you're seeing, these tools will help, and it'll help the colony once you get them on. Let's see. Pasted link from the S. Oh, good. Perfect. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that, Sean. That'll be perfect for
sure.
remembering what's needed on that. And it should be under the list of equipment in the equipment items if you check, because I do have the advanced player guide on here.
I already added it to my inventory.
Good. And I think the Alchemist Fire is also there too. It's either there or the core. All right, there it is. Swarm suit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, against swarms, that's going to be excellent protection. All right, so you do have some wounded. not too horrifically, but you do have some wounded. Now, what you do see in the tool kit is there's also, or the tool area, there's also some stuff that is used to keep vermin out of a place like the larder. That's why some of the stuff was not affected. You could put around boxes or whatever to keep the swarms out. It's almost like an anti-roach, anti-mouse cream that chases them away.
Well, I'll take some of that and just take 10 minutes and just run around there and try and roach-proof the larder real quick.
Yeah, if you go around the bases of it and around the bricks and some of the openings, that'll be perfect. It'll keep whatever out. So that works out pretty well. You're now at about 425, so it's not too long, but it took a little bit to go through these. And you still have the 2 barracks. You got about an hour and a half before dark begins to set in, or twilight, or the setting of the sun.
How many Alchemist Fire did Syl get?
1. You'd have 1, and Sharra would have 1.
Okay.
And again, not necessarily you want to throw them in the barracks or something like that. That's all wood, or maybe not brick. In the brick buildings, it's not so big of a deal. But in any of the wooden buildings, that's not a good idea. Like you said, it'll burn, 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 burn. Alchemist Fire especially. All right. So now Markel's got the fire going in the fire pit. She's curious. She starts heading over that way. Find anything interesting? Ooh, she says, seeing tools. Well, those will be good. That'll allow us to build up the rest of the place for trade. I like it. Be a little safer, too. And it looks like, as you guys look outside the palisade, some of the stuff that's those brown circles, those are actually stumps of trees that have been cut down and turned into the palisade walls.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the Alchemist Fire. That's beautiful stuff. It's 1d6 and will keep burning for quite a while. So, let's see, the flames for taking... Yeah, exactly. It takes a reflex save. Otherwise, they keep burning. That's nasty stuff they use in the Greek wars. Because I think Alchemist Fire, has petroleum in it? It has real, like, oil or petroleum. And that's why it kept burning. So. Iozef is like, well, at least we're finding what is in here. Good stuff that at least will help the colony, and we don't have to rely on everything in the ship. So where do you guys want to head next? Or is there something else you guys want to do before going any further?
Well, I guess the next barracks building.
The one Sill's in front of would be the desired choice of Aurora.
Yeah, same here.
Alright. Iozef will come up over here. He's got his crossbow out. Markel has her staff, but she's just kind of... or the spear. She looks almost bored. She goes, I wish we could get through these sooner. Alright, so you guys are going to the next barracks. The first of the barracks buildings.
Okay. While Sill's close to it, she'll kind of get her ear next to the door and take a listen.
Alright. Do me a perception check while listening. Now these are, while he's doing that, let's see, what'd you get? Not so good. You don't think that you hear anything moving inside.
Well, realistically, she could, just spend a minute taking 10 on perception.
Okay. If you want to do that, you can definitely do that. You hear some skittering noises inside that first barracks.
While she's taking 10, I'm going to do a quick walk around of the building.
Okay. All right. So let's do this so I can get you.
So is it skittering just like the other building, or a different kind of skittering?
Different kind of skittering.
Bigger or smaller?
Bigger. Definitely bigger.
Interesting. Sill will open the door.
Alright. Hang on here. Let's do this so you can see everything out there, Adalynd. Alright. Sorry, I know I'm kind of opening this up. I'm not trying to give too much of the interior. Alright. So yeah, it's definitely a rectangular building. When you open the door, you see what looks to be a very tiny, almost like, it looks almost like a praying mantis, but it's not. Because it doesn't have the mantis look to it, but it's similar in how it holds itself, and it's really pretty small. Let's see if they got a shot of one of these. Let's see if I got it here in my things for the... Sorry, I gotta now open that up. There we go. Alright, so let's get out of that and go over to pictures and see if I got a picture on it. Images. Yeah, let's get off of here, go to all. It looks like a tiny version of this.
Baby and keg.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's skittering towards the door where you've opened.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear Faradin go, "Oh my God! Why are there so many things here? What is this, Buggerama?" He says, getting out his weapon. All right, so let's go to.
Sill lets out a disappointed sigh.
Yeah. What can you say? He's just not into bugs. Not that he's retching on this one, but it's just not his favorite thing in life.
No, she's just wants to smack him upside the head for just whining so much.
He goes, "Hey, I'm sorry. I don't like bugs."
She didn't say anything. Just
all right.
Gave him a disappointed sigh and just kind of that look of, you disappoint me.
He goes, "I don't mind other things, but just, ugh." All right. So go ahead and do your initiatives, folks, because it's skittering towards you to come greet you at least, if nothing else.
I approve.
There's Iozef's. Alright, and then there is Markale's. Let's see. Well, Markale's actually got a really good initiative. Alright. Faradin.
Indy!
Alright. Alright, so that leaves us with Aurora being first. As you see this little scurrying bug that's probably about 2.5 feet in height with its tail sticking up. You know that the mama of that's got to be easily 3 or 4 times the size of that.
So Aurora is just going to use monster lore on it.
Okay. Alright, so what you know about hang kegs. Alright. Let's see what we know. Alright, so what you know about these guys are that they are a magical beast. They like to spit acid at the opponents. That's their big thing. It's really their nasty, as their acid spit, and they can burrow. So.
And weaknesses, because I'm supposed to get weaknesses as well.
Like
if they have any.
Yeah, on this particular deal, they don't necessarily have any weaknesses. They do, the worst thing is when they're below you and they're using a tremor sense. It's kind of like tremors, where they have the tremor sense. Their reach is not real good. Their reach, they have to be up close to you. Their spit has some range to it. Their spit has about a 10-foot spit range at this size.
So Aurora stops moving completely and just goes completely still.
Okay. Alright. It's just kind of looking at Syl with kind of a cocked head. Let's see, where are you, Aurora? You're right up here. There we go. Alright. You gonna do anything more this round, or just kind of stand and watch it?
No, just stand and watch. Observe.
Right. Markale starts to... Let's see, she goes 5, 10, 20, 30. She goes...
They're vermin.
Disappointing, she says. And she takes a pop at it with her. I believe this is going to be...
Did everyone get higher than me in initiative?
Yeah, I think so. Well, no, Sharra was down there. You actually, it was just Markale and Aurora that got higher than you.
No, they didn't. I got a 22.
No, it didn't show up on here. It showed up as an 18. Ah.
Well, I rolled an 18. I have a +4.
Ah. See, what you got to do is you got to click on the initiative on the front of your character page. They have a little mini dice on there.
I just added the +4 directly to it with the little box on the lowest left-hand corner.
All right, then you can go. Aurora's not going to be doing anything, so go ahead if you want to. I'll move her back for now
because she's gonna flurry it in a moment.
Okay, then go ahead. You're first to go. So
she'll just take a 5-foot step at it and do a flurry of blows and natural attacks.
Nice. All right.
I'll actually make the attacks right out of my thing here.
No problem.
That was a natural one.
Okay, we'll re-roll that. Let's see what happens there.
Oops, I don't know why I had a...
Beautiful. So it's not necessarily a one complete fail. It was you just had a bad first shot at it. So you can continue to attack if you have the rest of them. Had you failed, not so much.
Okay. Alright, I'll do my first claw attack.
Alright.
And nope. And...
a handful of nopes. Dang. You just gotta reverse your 20 to be your attack roll instead of the 1.
Alright, so this will just be my crit. I'll just... this twice.
Okay.
For 10 points of damage.
Alright. So actually your crit, let's see on that. Your crit would be a blunt. So bludgeoning. So concussion. So it takes 1d2 of intelligence and wisdom damage. So it takes 2 points of intelligence and 1 point of wisdom. What are its intelligence and wisdom? God. So
it's a vermin that might not have any.
Well, no, it has a 1 intelligence, but if it sends it negative, generally don't the negative scores end up...
It won't. I don't think it'll go into negative. I think it floors at 0, or it might just count as a negative for terms of like recovery. But either way, it's paralyzed.
It's not doing good at all. All right. So your damage was times. What's your normal times on your hands?
I did 10 points overall. Okay, I just did mine twice.
Okay, so 10 points overall. All right. It's not liking you at all. It's just kind of sitting there. The acid dripping from its mouth.
Yeah, it's currently in a coma, so it doesn't really... Yeah.
So, Aurora, do you want to change your... what you're going to do since he'll basically beat the living daylights out of it?
This is lunch now.
Crunchy.
No, not really. I'm going to keep watching.
All right, so then Markale will do
Aurora's just hastily jotting down notes.
Markale, that'll be good. So then you know next time what you're up against. All right, so Markale's like, whatever. And she throws her short spear. All right, where is it? There. Yep. And it sticks in the ground near the beast. She didn't hit it that time. Oh, bother, she says. Painful little creature. All right, Adalynd, you are up.
Okay, well, I'm kind of in the back right now. Do I see anything out this way? Is there...
Yeah, there is a window that is... the shutter's creaked, so you'd have to climb up on the base. The way this sits is... think about, the houses that are out in the jungle areas where they raise them up a couple feet with the logs. It's up like about a foot off the ground in case tide or something comes in. So it's raised up a little bit. So if you hop up there on the outer edge, you could look in the window.
Actually, I would like to look under if I could. If it's kind of like up on logs or something. Can I look under?
You see a nice hole under there and a burn in the floor of the barracks where this creature would have come in through. It burned its way with the acid into the floorboards.
Okay, do I see anything else down there?
Nope, just that hole, which you figure probably leads back to the nest where its other mates are. So are you just looking under this one, or are you doing just a look all the way around the bottom of it out towards the other barracks?
Probably looking out all over, towards the other barracks too, yeah.
You think you see another burn hole in that barracks as well, with a hole in the ground. So, that's what you see.
All right, yeah, that's my turn.
All right. Oops. All right, so we go to Faradin. Faradin is like, all right, I've had enough. Bugs. Ugly little bugs. I'm going to take care of this little bug. So you see he takes his Khopesh, weird-looking sword weapon. And just swings and misses. God. Alright, so the NPCs can't hit worth crap so far.
I'm really hoping we didn't use up all our good dice mojo.
And then, so this round, the little nymph is just kind of, it's just sitting there shuddering for now. Alright, Sharra. I hope we didn't. You guys are doing great. I love it. Alright, Sharra, your turn. You could fire through one of the front windows if you want to use your bow, depending on what you have out, or if you have your axe, you can run in and... you're with Adalynd back there. Yes, you absolutely do. As she's looking underneath, you can hear the... So you'd have to climb up on the floorboard. If you have your bow out, you could do it and try to take a shot. It would be at a -2 because you're trying to balance yourself out there and fire. But you could do it. Alright. And remember, you got the +1 bow, so that'll help. As it's kind of flopping on the floor. Alright, a 16 will hit. Oh. That's with the -2 on that or not? Okay, so a 14, let me see. Will a 14 hit? Yes, because it is flat-footed. You need a 13 to hit it flat-footed. A 14 if it's not flat-footed. So you hit it both ways. So you guys can see coming through the window a bow. Reach up and then fire an arrow in to hit the creature in the back of its abdomen. So what are you going to do, Sharra, on this one? Are you going to end up taking one of the legs and cracking it off and putting it on your necklace? She's got her hunter's thing going. Oh, Lord. Yep, with the 3 points, you end up killing it dead. Actually, yeah, because he did that damage to it. Yep, it is gone. It's now leaking a little bit of the acid out of it, but if you guys use your knowledge skill with like a knowledge nature or survival, you might be able to, if you have like a glass jar or vial, you could collect the acid.
Well, we have taken a couple Cure Wounds potions.
Mm-hmm, and those
so
things
we may
are
have
empty.
a leftover.
They are empty. What did you do, Bug? Bug.
Sorry. I said sorry.
I know. Go play. I will fix it later. She takes this really nice necklace that supposedly was from an African adventure that we bought for her. She unties it and takes all the elements off and hands them to me. That's what happens with a bored 7-year-old. I love her. She's a good girl. Her heart's good. She's had a great week overall. It's just sometimes she goes off into that little, I've got to undo it. I don't know why.
I think most kids have that.
Yeah. That's why I don't get too mad. It's like, it just having to put it back together is not the most fun. Alright, so you guys can take the time and do that if you want to go in there. And you just have to use your survival skill so that way you don't accidentally touch the acid with your hands. It's you maneuvering to get it into the vial in the best way possible. You could easily collect 2 vials worth of acid from it. And the acid will do, hang on here. If it absolutely shows it, let's see, where is it? Okay, so the acid itself is 2d4 points of damage if you're able to hit somebody with it in the vial.
How large is the creature itself? Was it small or?
It is about
diminutive?
two and a half. It's small. It's about the size of your gnome, Faradin, if you were to lay him out flat. About like that.
Okay.
I'm going to let everybody know that there's a hole underneath this barracks, and there's a hole underneath the other one.
Yep.
So there might be more that could come out at any time.
Now, other than that, inside the barracks, you see quite a few beds that are in the barracks themselves. There's inside the floors are, the building is raised up, so they're wood, and there are many pallet beds that are on these. They have sacks or tied bundles of clothing near them. And there is, in some cases, some cloth armor that's around. It doesn't look like anything fancy. It just looks like what you would wear around the compound if you don't have your regular armor on. So whoever was here and stayed here, their armor is with them. They left with armor. There are some stands where they could put weapons, but the weapons aren't there, though there are some quivers around with some crossbow bolts and arrows. Looks like regular crossbow bolts and regular arrows. And then, can you guess as to why it burrowed? Probably exploring. Sharra thinks that, most likely these creatures go in exploring for food, and it didn't get to the right food. Living food is what they prefer, so you guys... or any type of living animal, but they will eat other types of salted food if nothing else is around. They do also, they're basically omnivores, so they can eat either plant life or human flesh or creature flesh. So, yeah, there are definitely some arrows. You guys count in this barracks alone, there are probably 50 crossbow bolts and then about 45 arrows. The rest got taken with whoever had possession of them. There are spots where you think another quiver could be put. So whoever left took all their items with them on this one that were usable for patrols and things like that. Okay.
Well, Syl is going to claim one of the Ankeg babies as hers because that's going to be dinner.
Okay, no problem. Once you drain the acid out of it, the meat will be fine. You'll be an enjoyable live meal.
Mm.
Fairly tasty. Doesn't taste like chicken, though. Okay, Adalynd will grab a few bolts out of there.
Right. She'll take it and throw it into the fire pit over here.
Okay.
And prepare it later when everyone's done.
Well, I think there might be another one in the other barracks that might be a little bit bigger for a better meal for you.
It could be either this one barrowed in there too, or otherwise. Now, you guys do find a miscellaneous coinage, about 160 silver pieces and 43 gold pieces.
I'm sorry, how much gold did you say? 160 silver and
47 gold. Which added to the 35 that you guys already found in the one place. But the Wand of Goodberry would give you guys some nice... Again, for you guys, it's great to collect the gold, and it'll be great once the colony gets up and going to pay the blacksmith and whoever else takes over. But right now, it's meaningless coin. Because who are you going to... Unless you send it back on the ship when the ship goes back. Because the Peregrine will go back to Andoran. And that you could put in orders that way. It'll just take them about 3 to 4 months round trip to come back to you.
I would expect that Markale might speak up at that point and say, while it may not be as of much use to you guys, it probably would be useful for me to begin building the economy here in the colony.
Mm-hmm. That would be Markale, absolutely.
Except, far less verbose and far more detailed.
Well, I'll
and of
take it
course,
for trade.
far more entertainingly too.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you guys want, but in my notes, I've just been kind of keeping track of everything
That's
we're picking
perfect.
up, and that if you want,
Perfect.
I could total it all up and divide it amongst us if you want.
Yeah,
I
or
don't know
just-
how you guys want to handle that.
Or you could put it as a general treasury in there under the Discord if you want to type it in there and just say, hey, so far here's what we've collected in
Okay,
case.
yeah, I'll do that.
AKA the party loot.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so you have the other building to check out, and it is
Thank you
getting
for tracking that, Laura. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
always awesome. So it's about 5:05 now, their time, or in the evening.
So we have, 55 minutes roughly, we think,
Yeah,
before
you can see the
sunset?
sun's already going down in the sky. It's about from where its path is about halfway to where it'll be down. So it's doing like your normal nights. It's going down.
So Aurora's
Okay, now,
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to ask, of all the buildings we've explored, which would be the most defensible if we stay the night?
Probably either the large building that's at the triangle top to the east, which is the meeting
The community
building,
center kind of
the
thing?
community
Okay.
center, or you could go next door to it to the governor's home. Would probably.
Okay.
Third would be the church. The church is well built. And then fourth would be the cleric's home, which is
Okay.
just to the east of the church. Those are going to be your most defensible. I mean, you could try to defense the smithy, but again, it's not the most comfortable place to
Well, it's
sleep.
open air in a place, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But those would be the most defensible. Your
So-
biggest worry would be any of these ancake babies coming up and the nymphs coming up and burrowing in to see what's there. Especially if they can feel you with the tremor sense walking around. That would be the biggest danger. So, finding mama in the nest may not be a bad idea. Even though it is an ancake. It just right now, depending, she's most likely out where those other holes are, to the north. They look very similar to the holes over here, just bigger. So,
Okay, yeah, let's go clear out the other barrack, I guess.
okay. So are you and Sharra going to move along the back like you did the last time?
I want to go
Yeah.
to the back and just see if there's like a window that we could look through or peek through just to see if there's an ankeg in there.
All right. So go ahead and Sharra, if you can move your token over. Markale will just, confidently stride behind Aurora. And then he's moving quickly down the line. He and Iozef, Faradin. He goes, no more, please, no more. All right, so as you look in the window, there we go. You see a very similar barracks to this one. It's almost mirror image. And you see a baby skittering around the inside of it. It's kind of skittering and moving by bags and skittering over beds. Or the bedding,
Okay.
the tick kind of beds. Basically, the tick beds are the straw beds that get laid down.
Okay. I'll call out and say there's a baby in there.
All right. So we'll keep the initiatives where they were on the last one since I had them kind of figured in. Which would allow... Let's see, who was first?
So was first.
So was first. All right, Sil, you're up.
All right. Does she have a clear path to it?
Yeah, you can get to the door and definitely have a clear path.
Okay. All right. She'll go up to it and thwack it then.
All right, you knock open the door, which is ajar. I mean, again, it wasn't bolted, and there it looks at you in surprise. So you basically didn't surprise it because it has tremor sense. It just didn't expect you to come in so quickly. It knew you were out there. It just
Right. So
okay.
I'm counting this as a charge.
All right.
And
So
I will do that.
All right. So
AC 16.
Yep, AC 16 absolutely will hit.
All right, so
Do
that's
your darndest.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, nice job. All right, so it's shaking its head, going, getting ready to figure out what the heck's going on. All right, take it to Aurora. Let's
Sorry,
pin its
Fantasy Grounds
head.
froze on me again, so I have to close and restart it.
I always love Sharra's method. Let's pin its head to the wall. All right. So depending on what Aurora or what is done there, let's see. Markel could move up and stabby. Again, disgusting to her, but she will do it. Kind of like she did with the scum. God, it's beautiful. I got the windows open, folks. I wish everybody has a day like this in the next week. It's just really nice.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Got all the windows open, enjoying the 50s.
Oh, yeah. This is the best time of the year for anybody when you get into the 50s.
I agree.
Especially up there. I mean, Buffalo area. God, you guys don't get much of it. When you do get it, it's gorgeous.
We have to enjoy it while we can.
I'm telling you, because next month, you're like us. Next month, I'm waiting for the snow to come.
Snow, yeah.
I've already got my snow shovel. I'm getting my salt probably by the end of the month.
I'm still wearing shorts outside.
What's
Well,
the
we
matter?
could have here yesterday. It was 92 here yesterday.
It's okay. I will get it here in a little bit. Relax. Why don't you come out? Why don't you, sweetie, do me a favor. Why don't you come out here and play? Bring out here whatever toys you want to play and come out here. Okay? All right. Those are crocodile tears. I can tell because when she has real tears, it's, yeah, that was more, Dad, I screwed up. Ah, well, gotta love her. All right, so shorts, I gotta love that. I mean, shorts are the best way to go if you have that kind of weather. 50s, 60s, it's getting a little cool almost for it. All right. So, are you back, Aurora?
Nearly back, yes.
Right.
Nearly.
Do you want Markel to do her thing before you do
Yeah,
yours?
yeah, let Markel go.
So she's going to move up and go stabby at the thing. Because throwing it didn't work too well for her, unfortunately. Alright, stabby. Come on, dice. Oh, that works. Okay. So she does a d6 plus 2 to this thing. 3 points. She didn't kill it. She goes, oh, bother. Got to keep working at it. But it does look rough. There's a lot of ichor coming out of it. Alright, so Aurora, whenever you're ready, you're next. And then it'll be Adalynd's turn.
Which 5-foot spot is Syl actually standing in?
She is right in the corner of this one that you're next to, so you could go to the bottom of her and work around her.
Okay.
Just like Adalynd, or just like Markel did on the top.
Perfect.
Alright.
Okay.
Do your worst.
Oh, Lord, let's only hope.
You guys have been doing pretty good today. I mean, I can't gripe. You guys have literally been surviving and killing.
Nope.
I haven't been TPK'd yet.
Yeah. Well, the roaches, though, kind of gave everybody the heebie-jeebies. How do you attack a swarm of roaches with a broadside of your weapon?
At that point, Aurora literally takes the Morning Star and throws it in the fire, which is currently burning behind her. She is done with the Morning Star.
Flying
completely
Morning Star.
done with this freaking Morning Star.
Oh,
but
yeah.
to be fair, she would probably still miss the freaking fire trying
You
to
did.
get there.
It goes flying over and hits the logs next to the fire, knocking them down into a it smashes one of them, and sticks in it, but the rest of them kind of go every direction. Nice job.
See, now, if there was another century or two of scientific development, we would have had the perfect weapon to fight the swarm of roaches, which is a vacuum cleaner.
That's right.
Or raid.
And raid. There you go. You'd have like a gun little launcher as you fire it at them. All right, so Faradin is going to try to fit into the window since he is small. Let's do the acrobatics. And he gets a... Oops. I gotta do the acrobatics off of here. Alright, there's Markale. Get rid of her. Where's Faradin? Alright, skills. Oh, lovely. This will be fun. Ah, he does it! 19.
Hey, Daddy.
He's in the window very quickly.
Daddy.
Yes. What's up, sweetie?
I'm still hungry.
I'll get you some apples here in a few minutes. We're going to take a break here in a few minutes. All right, so he's in there, and he's going to move up towards the Ankeg. See if he can do it stealthily. Tremor Sense doesn't give him much help for that. Nope. It still noticed him. All right. So now we are to Sharra. Sharra, you can see that... Oh, go ahead.
Before Sharra goes, I got skipped.
I'm sorry, Adalynd.
And that's okay. What I was just going to do is I was going to kind of kneel down by one of those windows so that she could just kind of hop on my back and take her shot without the negative.
That's a really good idea. Okay. All right, so hop up on top, Sharra. She's positioned herself with the full round action well to where you can step right up and take a shot with no penalties. Good idea. Love it. Give yourself 50 on that one.
Oh, thank you.
That's good thinking.
Nice.
There you go, and look at that. She kicks butt and does the attack. That's beautiful. All right, do your damage. 3 points, and he drops to the floor, pinned. Good job. So combination crew takes that out in the end. Good job, party. Yep, another one between the eyes. And if you got any more vials, you can collect that too and have 4 vials of that 2d4 acid. Because it's very concentrated acid.
Aurora has gone and picked up her Morning Star and literally thrust it into the fire. She's not keeping that Morning Star.
Now, with the putting it in there, Adalynd, if you're doing it, if you did it the first time, since you are able to do it successfully, you could take 10 or take 20 and do it. You just have to take the rounds, and so, which is not that long.
Okay.
And you can collect the rest while everybody else does a search of the building on that.
Now,
go ahead.
Wait a minute. We got 2 vials of acid the last time.
Yep.
What did we... do we have anything to put... Does anybody have any more vials for us to do?
You probably could go look in the tool shed and see if there's anything else that could be done with that. Because right now, you've cleared out the area for the moment. There is no other hostiles in this area, which is a good thing. So, yeah, the end cake over the fire. I love it. Good job on that one. Josh putting the ant keg on the fire to roast.
Yeah, she's gonna pull out her equipment and start cooking it.
So you gonna do the second one too, or not?
Or stoking that fire with that Morning Star, making sure
She's
it's
just
totally burned up.
She's just making food for herself. Although if someone wanted some, they could probably convince her to do that one too.
Okay.
But otherwise, she's just making her own food.
So you find inside the tool shed there are some empty vials. Again, like anything else, they're going to have different things for supplies as they find stuff or need to create stuff. So,
well, I'll grab as many as I can then, just so I have some, because I have a feeling we're going to see more of these things.
Yep, there's a box of about 100 of them, so you could probably easily take 10 of them and not hurt the village in any way, because there'll be more on the ship, and then you'll have some glass blowers probably among the different people that come, profession-wise. All right. So you're able to do that. Now, who's searching inside of the... Okay, Sharra's... Okay, water... Yeah, you could easily do that now from the well. You could go over to the well, Sharra, and lower the bucket down, and then,
Before Sharra even gets there, Aurora just waves her hand, and a small, gentle rain washes over her. No need for that.
No need for that. Nice. All right.
Hold on, my pizza's here.
Okay. Do you guys want to take a break then at this point so everybody can get a quick bite?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Let's do
Seems
that
like a good
and meet
stopping
back at about 35 or 40. Let's do 140. We'll meet back.
Okay.
All right. See everybody then.